Do you know who the best-selling brand of power tools is? Now, if you are around the YouTube or in the YouTube bubble, as it were, it's really easy to believe that Milwaukee is the best-selling brand. I get a lot of people who post, Milwaukee's the best-selling, they're the top-selling, this is what, yada, yada. There's a lot of belief because they see it so much, they think, well, that must be the best-selling one. And it's simply not true. Now, I'm not trying to beat on Milwaukee people here. I'm just trying to prove that when you're in this kind of bubble, as it were, there's a lot of misconceptions that can happen. We get all the data on it, so let's jump into it. So here's, as of the chart going from September 2016 to September of 2023. This is from Trackline Durables IQ, their network over there. And they're showing here what's really going on. It's really weird when you look at this. You see Black & Decker all the way at the top back in 2016. That just really shows you how much brand recognition, how much power there is behind it. Craftsman there just kind of going along, again, based almost incredibly, just solely on brand recognition. Ryobi cruising along. Milwaukee making headways, but not as much as people would like to think. Dremel's even in there, but again, they're kind of in a niche. I don't know if I would have included them in this chart. Now, they do show that 68% of power tool purchases are in-store versus 27% online. This is not big news, all right? I mean, if you're buying power tools, a lot of people want to get their mitts on them. They want to be able to feel them, see what they're like, give them a few revs, see what's going on. They want something tangible to look at, and we totally understand that. But online is growing, becoming more and more of a common, especially once you get into a power tool line. You'll see a lot more people move online for secondary purchases. At least that's been my experience. Now, let's take a look at the actual numbers here. So we're going to, not only we're going to see brands, we're going to see where they're purchased. Home Depot, of course, leading it. They're the number one seller of power tools in the United States. Lowe's coming in there. Amazon at number 3. That's a real surprise here. Then we see Walmart, independent dealers, and others. But others account for together 30% of the market. Now that can be Ace, other small independent shops. Menards is going to be in there. Harbor Freight's going to be in there. Lots of other ones. But to see Amazon move up the levels like that, that's ridiculous. Now when we look over at brands, we see DeWalt is easily number 1. Milwaukee, not even close, really. You got Generic, which is again going to be a kind of like no-name brands. Craftsman's in there, and then you got Ryobi, again, another big name in there. Craftsman and Ryobi are kind of on par with each other. And then other is 55% of the market. 55%. That's a huge, huge amount of the market. But if you accept that basically 16% of the market is all just DeWalt, that is still a pretty sizable share, and that's why Stanley Black & Decker is the largest power tool manufacturer in the world. But let's keep going. Here again, we have the details versus 27% online, 68% retail. Now, as far as where the dollars are spent, as we can see online, Amazon is clearly leading the online war, but it's not like you have another option when it comes to Amazon. You're not going to be going in store there. If you are, please tell me your tricks. Anyway, how much is being paid? This is really interesting. Industry average is $141 to $145. At Home Depot, they're a little bit broader, $137 down to $150. At Lowe's, right there, smack dab in the middle, $146, $147. Amazon is on the lower end, $119 to $118. Walmart, again, even lower at $76 and $87. But the independent power dealers, they're much, much higher. But again, I think it's because it's a compilation data set. So I don't know if I'd be too worried about that. But here's a question. How often are you likely to buy online versus buying in a store? Also, let me know what your primary brand is and whether you have more than one brand. That's what I'd like to see. If you put it down in the comments, we can gather some more information, see what's going on, at least in our own little YouTube universe here. Now, we got a little bit more data. We're going to talk about who's buying them. So what generation is buying it? Full disclosure, I'm a Gen Xer. 10% are Gen Z. I didn't even know they bought tools. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. 30% are millennials, 30% are Gen Xers, 28% are baby boomers, and 22% are matures. Matures? Who came up with that term? Matures. Anyway, I'm not totally surprised. Millennials are coming into that area where they're homeowners and stuff like this. And you can see over here, 69% of the people buying tools are homeowners, 56% are married. Household size is 45% are 3 or more. I would definitely follow in that. We're a household size of 5. 61% male, 50 or 26% female, 13% both. No comment. Employment full-time, 58%, retired 17%, part-time 9%. Here's something that's interesting. Education on the side. A lot of people would tell you people using tools are blue collar, they're rednecks, they're not educated folks. This chart doesn't live up to that. Only 25%, 1 in 4, don't have at least some college. Over half have an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree, and 16% have post-collegiate degrees, post-college degrees. The average family income there, it's kind of a spread across the board here. 35% less was 21%, 35 to 74K is 29. So it's interesting that it really drops off after that, I guess, if you can pay someone else to do it there. 75 to 100 is 12, 100 to 124 is 13. Now, this is interesting. People who make 125K or more, it's 25%. Could be because those are actually professionals who are in the trades making good money, more than a lot of people who are freshly out of college. All right, and what's behind the buy? Competitive price, goods is 56%. Good selection is 26%, convenient locations 24%, and previous experience with the store is 21%. At least that's at the retailer level. When it comes to brands, they're looking 48% at competitive price, 31% at desired features, 29% at quality, and 28% at brand name. As we can see, brand name has been very important, but 56 and 48, it's clear that price is a huge feature, and I think going forward in today's economy, it's going to become even a bigger buying decision for a lot of people. Why buy the product? Old one was broken is 35, first-time purchase is 26, gift for someone else is 8%, and an additional one is 8%. I will say, I would recommend you don't buy for someone else. Give them a gift card if you're going to do that. Let them pick out their own tool. But a lot of this, you're going to see is, one of the things is when you look at like Home Depot versus Lowe's, what do they both have in common? They both sell DeWalt. And there's a reason why DeWalt is the #1 bestseller. And I'm not saying it's because they make the best products. For a long time, we were really critical of DeWalt. We felt that they were kind of sleeping over there, and honestly, they were. A lot of their products especially their brushed products, I think are substandard. People should not buy. But their high-end stuff, their brushless products, they've really, really turned a corner, woken up and said, oh yeah, that's right, we're a tool company. In fact, we're the biggest tool company. And somebody who basically Milwaukee woke the sleeping dragon, and they're really coming back to life there. So I don't have any problem recommending DeWalt these days. In fact, it's hard not to recommend about any of the power tools. It's really hard to find a bad power tool system these days. But if you look on Amazon, I'm sure you can find one. Anyway, jokes aside, I think DeWalt is an excellent choice. Milwaukee is great for the professionals. Ryobi is fantastic for the DIYers. Of course, we talk about Harbor Freight a lot on here with Bauer for the DIYers, Hercules for the value-minded professionals and prosumer types. There's a lot of great other options out there. Going over to Menards, I think Menards is not covered enough. I wish another tool tuber would start covering Menards. I totally would. There just is not one anywhere near me. So one of you out there has to start becoming the Menards guy. I would love to see them get more coverage because I love shopping there when I'm in the area. Anyway, what's your favorite tool store? Let me know down below, as well as your favorite brand. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.